Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm unboxing and making every single recipe in this everyday essential oil hero kit from Simply Earth. This one has a ton of recipes. I think there's 8 total. So the box just kind of has everything you need in there. There are a few things you're going to need from home, like distilled water, cornstarch, stuff like that. Stuff you should probably already have at home, but comes with a bunch of different essential oils so you can choose how you want your products to smell. We're going to be making hand sanitizer, spray, perfume, deodorant, a little bit of everything. So here are all the butters, beeswax. We do have some test strips so you can try out different fragrances before you put them in the products. So that's really nice. Everything is individually packaged. You will have to do a little bit of measuring, but nothing too crazy. We have some fractionated coconut oil and some stickers and sprayers at the bottom of the box. So they give you a variety of different stickers, so you can decide what colors you want to use for your products. You could just write what they are, put the fragrance on there, the date you made it, whatever you want. And then it also comes with the hero guide. Shows you some things you may need from home. It also goes through all the recipes with the instructions and then tips and tricks. I recommend reading over the entire sheet before starting each recipe. It's super helpful. My favorite page, they thought to include this. It's a list of all the different fragrance blends that kind of go together. So if you're wanting like more of an herbal scent or a floral one, you could kind of see how they have it divided on here and pick one of those if you want, or you can make your own up. It doesn't matter. But the first one is a sanitizer surface spray. The recipes kind of go in order from like super easy to a little bit more, I won't even say difficult, just a little bit more steps. So here's what the card looks like, and then you can see the tips and tricks. I decided to do one of their recommended blends. So we have the Defender blend and lavender. I'm just putting 2 drops of each of these. Bergamot, kind of gave that a little swirl. They also included this tiny funnel to help make pouring easier. And I say that as you see me spilling the ingredients. I am not good at pouring things, but this is just perfumer's alcohol, so it's nothing serious. It wipes right up. But I did my best to try to pour that. And then you can also add some hydrosol or distilled water. Then when you're done, you have to trim your sprayer. I made mine a little bit too short, so just be a little careful when you do that. But that one was super easy. Just a couple ingredients. And then of course you can put your sticker on there and label it. And then spray it and clean your counter. Love that. I love that it's a small size. You can take it with you if you need to. So the next recipe in here is kind of going along with that. It's a hand sanitizer. Again, still a really easy recipe. Couple more ingredients for that. I decided to go with just a straight lavender scent. So I'm adding my essential oils to that empty container. Then adding in some perfumer's alcohol. And then we also do have aloe vera and some vegetable glycerin. I like that they included the aloe vera. So it's a little moisturizing, not too drying. And then again, once you add all those in, you can give it a gentle mix, trim your sprayer, put a label on it, and that is it. Very easy. Again, this is a perfect size to put in your purse, keep at your desk, nice and portable. The next recipe is for perfume. They did do a perfume kit before that I have a video on in case you're interested, but they included these test strips so you can kind of put your own blend on there and see if you like it before making it. There's lots of strips in there, and this one is very easy. You just add your essential oils, and then fill up the rest of the bottle with the perfumer's alcohol. And then I just gently shake it every time I go to use it. And that is it. So my daughter picked the fragrances for this one. She picked the unicorn blend and lavender. She said that was her favorite. I'm sure it had to do with unicorn being in the title of that one. You don't need to trim the sprayer. It's perfect length. Just put the lid on it and add your label. Next up, we have the solid perfume. So still pretty easy to make. We do have some beeswax and some other oils that we're adding, and we're going to heat that up 30-second increments in the microwave. Normally I use a double boiler, but since these recipes are so little, I'm not making 12 of them. I did just use a glass dish. I thought ahead of time to put the label on first at the bottom of the tin. We made a lavender solid perfume, and then you just fill it up, set it aside to cool, and that is it. Next recipe is a body wash base. We have a bottle that I filled part of the way with distilled water. Then I'm adding the body wash powder. Now it says to gently shake this, and then you're going to let it sit for 5 to 6 hours to activate. It will be pretty foamy almost instantly. You're going to want to crack the lid or take the cap off. That way the pressure doesn't build up. It did bubble for a while, but then calmed down. And then 5 to 6 hours later, you could add the rest of the ingredients. So we're adding some carrier oil and essential oils. And then you just shake it to incorporate. To use it, you just apply a small amount to your hand or washcloth, lather, and rinse. I went with the Clean and Fresh blend. The Clean and Fresh blend has fir needle, lemon, grapefruit, and neroli essential oils. The next recipe is a melt and pour body wash. I did make an ice bath that I have set off to the side, and then I heated up some distilled water, added in some melt and pour soap, stirring that until it totally dissolves. And then you're going to put the bowl onto the ice bath, and then use a hand mixer or immersion blender to mix that until it's foamy and silky. Then you can add the essential oils and stir to incorporate. And then you just pour that into a container. And to use this mixture, you just apply a small amount to your hand or a washcloth, lather, and rinse. The next recipe is a natural solubilizer body wash. That's really hard for me to say. But you're going to start off mixing some xanthan gum, vegetable glycerin together, and then you can mix in water to that. Then in a separate bowl, I have some solubilizer, and then you add the essential oils as you stir it. And once it's well incorporated, you can add the first mixture into the second mixture, again stirring constantly. And when everything's well incorporated, you can add that to your container. And just like the other body washes, to use it, apply a small amount to your hand, lather, and rinse. Next up, we have a customizable deodorant. So I have the shea butter, coconut oils, beeswax. I'm using a microwavable safe dish to melt those down. Then I added in 35 drops of essential oil. You can use any combination that you like or pick one from that list. Then you add in the zinc oxide and cornstarch. And mix it pretty quickly. Try to get any lumps out from that cornstarch. It will set up rather fast, so if you need to zap it again in the microwave, you can do so. I didn't need to, but just mix, and then pour it into that container and leave it on the counter to set up. The last recipe is a mineral deodorant. Kind of starts off the same process where you're melting all the butters. Then you're going to add in some magnesium hydroxide, zinc oxide, and cornstarch. Mix those really well. Add in the essential oils, and then the same thing, you're going to quickly pour it into that container. This time, I thought to label it first. And we just made straight lavender. We didn't get fancy with the fragrance. And then you're going to pour it into the container. Let it set up for probably about 4 hours or so. And that is it. These recipes were really fun to make. If you'd like to try this kit or any of the other ones, I do have a promo code in the description box. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Bye, guys.